Hi everybody, welcome to this short video on privileged identity management, often called just-in-time administration. PIM is part of the Azure Active Directory authentication suite. It comes with an Azure Active Directory P2 license. It's a cloud-based service that is designed to protect your cloud-based resources. My name is Paul Keeley. This is a Born in the Cloud video that is there to support the Microsoft Cloud Security for the C-Level book. I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you. So what we're just going to do to start this session off, I guess just to understand what does privileged identity management do. It's essentially a fancy term for what is more commonly known in the industry as just-in-time administration. So throughout this book and the video series, we've talked about the idea of somebody getting into your Active Directory environment, gaining control of a user account, and using that user account to traverse the network, do it past the hash, and get to a more high-valued account. And then from that high-value account, take control over an asset. And once they have your username and password, they're just able to use like bog standard IT management tools that just don't show up on typical scanning tools. So in a previous video, I created a user account PIM, Privileged Identity Management, and I enabled MFA for them. And so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to sign in with this user. I'm going to say use a different verification option.
Thank you for using the Microsoft sign-in verification. Your sign-in was successfully verified.
So I just got MFA to call me back. Saves me typing in a number when I'm on the video. And if I go to Azure AD Privileged Identity Management, you can see that PIM, if he goes to manage privileged roles, he doesn't have permission because he needs to contact the administrator to do that. If he wants to do a review of his privileged roles, he can't really do anything because he's permanently assigned to password administrator and user administrator. So if we just have a little explore, like what can this person do? There is a users and group component for Azure AD, and we could just see a second ago that PIM is a user manager and a password reset manager. So this person's got the ability to reset user passwords. So there could be like a pretty low level tech support person on help desk, and you have just said, hey, look, you're allowed reset passwords. So I guess just one thing to point out is that this took me a second to work out. You can't reset them in Azure. If you're the password admin, you have to go to Office 365. You get a reduced view of users. If I go to ATA, I get to reset the password there, and it will auto-generate and make the user changes their password when they log in. So I can hit reset, and that will go and send an email and the code. So really nice. I'm able to reset passwords. Imagine they were able to do that on the CEO or CFO of your Office 365 environment. They would be able to log into Outlook as be able to open Outlook as that person. Pretty scary. So do we want this person permanently in this role? And we absolutely don't. And what if they were able to do a role review and say, hey, can I just get access to my to this groups when I need it? And so ultimately what we need to do is we need to change this user account from permanently assigned to eligible for assignment. I typically have a couple of different browsers on my machine, and I will sign in. Like I typically keep Firefox just for everything to do with this Born in the Cloud environment. And so here is privileged identity management for me. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to say manage privileged roles. Inside privileged roles, we know, for example, that PIM is a password administrator. Is it MFA enabled? Yes, it is. There's one user in there. So we just click into this and we see, hey, look, there's PIM, but unfortunately, PIM is permanently assigned this role. We don't really want that to happen. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to say, hey, will you make PIM eligible to request access, just in time access for this role, but don't make them permanently in it. And then in a second, I'll just get a pop-up to say we have reset that. And so there's the pop-up, and you now go to eligible. And they were also a user administrator. So if I go to user administrators, if I go to PIM and I just say make eligible, and once again, it's changing the assignment. We'll get a little pop-up and it will go from permanent to eligible. So there it is, and they're eligible. So what does that now mean? It now means that PIM doesn't actually have those rights anymore. Let's just spin back and have a look at PIM. So when I get back to the privileged identity management dashboard, you can now see that as password administrator and user administrator, I have to request activation. So what does that mean? So this is what it looks like. I've said request activation. And if I go to portal.office.com and I'm signed in on the same tab, well, it looks totally different. I'm just getting my user view for Office 365. I don't get the detailed users and groups and all that I saw a second ago. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to password administrator. It is for PIM. There's the email. There's the activation eligible. There's the expiration. And I'm just going to hit activate. Reason for role activation, I need to reset PWD. And I hit OK. And that's going to activate that role. And then I go to, and just look here, it says access valid till March 3rd at 10:40. So for me right now, it is 9:40. So I have access to this role for an hour exactly. And if I go to user activation and I just say activate same as before, and I just hit OK. And so once again, this role is going to activate. And as soon as it activates, I just have access in this. Give it to me. I got access for an hour exactly as well. It's added up by a minute. So if I go to Office 365, I don't know, if I just hit F5, would it change that quickly? No, okay. Let me just log out and log back in. One of the things that I just wanted to show in this is when I hit sign in, because I'm getting in on a privileged role, it is most definitely going to ask me for an MFA. So 645 there I am allowed in, and as you can see, I now get Admin Center, which I didn't get a few minutes ago. I go to users, I go to active users, I go back to ATA, I go reset password, and I go back and reset the user's password. So this is like just an absolutely fantastic and mandatory security system that you need to have in your environment. When people get access to roles and environments in Azure and Office 365, it absolutely has to be just in time. There's an on-prem equivalent of this for Active Directory through PowerShell. You just need a Server 2016 domain environment to be able to use it. At Ignite, you read in the book in the chapter, maybe you didn't, but at Ignite, Microsoft made a claim that in all of their servers, they do not have a permanent administrator, meaning that they are using just-in-time administration on everything, with the purpose that if you go and gain access to a user account, the hope is that all the other products you've seen, like ATA, ATP, Office ATP, OMS, is going to pick up the nefarious connectivity that you've had. And when you get that user account, the user account and the group access that you'll have might only be available for an hour. And when it's only available for an hour, you can be assured that the amount of damage somebody can do is pretty limited. For sure they can do damage, but it's pretty limited. It's a fantastic product. Super easy to use, super easy to understand, really easy to deploy. Oh my God. Get it fired out there, get it deployed, get the users to register for MFA. It is the best thing since sliced bread. Thank you.